so we just spent some time talking about legs and some specifics there. We can get even more specific with the hypotenuse. So again, when you see this slide, the first thing you want to do is, we are looking for the hypotenuse. Circle it, just like it says. All right, now the first blank is really simple, right? We know that hypotenuse is the longest side, so it has to be bigger than the longest leg, right? So it has to be bigger than 7, right? Remember, hypotenuse has to be the longest side, but it has to be bigger than that big leg there, so it has to be bigger than 7, right? So that first part, pretty basic. All right, the second part goes back to another basic idea, which you guys all know about. Let's say an example. Let's say I have a field, right? And Mr. Kembelik is in this corner of the field, right? And his wife is up in the upper right corner, right? So listen, the idea is I could stay on the outside of the field, right, and walk 120 yards this way and 50 yards up that way, right? That will be a total of 170 yards, right? Unfortunately, we know that if there's no game going on, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to stay on the outside. I'm going to cut through, right? And why am I going to cut through? Because it's shorter than walking around the outside, isn't it? Right? So that's the basic idea here, that line, that dotted line there, has to be smaller than if I stayed around the outside. Has to be smaller than 170, right? That's why I'm taking the shortcut, right? And that's my hypotenuse right there. So my hypotenuse cannot be bigger than the 120 plus 150, because again, plus the 50, because I'm going to cut through. So when we go back to this problem and we see our legs of 3 and 7, our hypotenuse can't be bigger than if I added them together and did 7 plus 3 and get 10. It has to be less than 10. All right, so the reason why this is important, it helps you really narrow it down and eliminate multiple choice ridiculous answers. So here's some multiple choice answers. Look at that first one, 6.3. Well, it's less than 10, but it's not bigger than 7. I'm crossing that one out, right? The second one, 10, it said it has to be less than 10. So it can't be 10 exactly, right? It has to be shorter. It has to be shorter than those two legs put together. 7.6 looks good. It's bigger than 7, but it's less than 10. So that could work. But 58, look at that. Bye-bye. It's not less than 10. It's out. And then the fourth one there, the last one, the fifth one, that's between 7 and 10. But look at this. Again, similar to other ones. I narrow all these down. I only have 2 answers left to choose from, right? I could actually guess and be half right. I could be right half the time, right? So we're going to use this. We're going to practice this right now. Again, it's going to be greater than that longest leg, but smaller than if we added the 2 legs together. All right, let's practice this and see how easy this can be when we start checking our stuff.